Hey friends, welcome back to Raising Your Prices Challenge, where we are talking all about increasing your prices and adding extra streams of revenue and exploring different options that will help your clients. As somebody who walked this journey with you, somebody who started out as an online ESL teacher and then moved into working with accent training and eventually teacher training, what I'm doing right now, and coaching, I know what it's like to try and think about different new ways of bringing in extra revenue when you're just swamped with one-to-one classes. And I guess my main goal for this challenge was to open up your eyes so you can see different ways of going about raising your prices. There is not one way of changing your prices as people tell us. Oh, all you need to do is just put a different price tag. There are a variety of ways that you can bring in. But I understand when you're working from morning till night and basically have no time to think even about your lessons, much less about your strategy and about how to bring in revenues, it really clouds our vision. And because creativity needs space to develop, it's very hard to come up with creative ideas when you have a full load. And that's where I come in. I come in with ideas. I come in with a different approach. I come in with a little bit of respite for you as you're watching these videos, that so that you can create a different vision for yourself. Because being overworked and trying to raise your prices, or maybe even um, building your online course on the side, is not always helpful. Even though people tell us how to do that, there are lots of challenges. So in the past video, I told you about creating a line of products, and all that is leading us to this lesson where my main goal will be to share with you how to have this infinite number of clients. And I know you will think, oh, that is impossible. But I wouldn't rush with the conclusions. I would watch this video and look at this with the fresh perspective. I'm going to show to you how I used to think I was getting clients and why I constantly found myself in this either feast or famine. And when I was in famine, I was really anxious. When I was in feast, I was burnt out because I was working morning till night and I couldn't really enjoy or think or take time to notice what I could improve and how I could make what I had better. So today I'm going to show you, using my nesting dolls principle, that little illustration that you may have looked at already. I'm going to show you how you can more clients and how you can create more space in your business to accommodate more clients and more customers, and how you can do that without resorting to a huge team or a big production agency or this incredibly complicated advertising strategy. You can do that in smart and sustainable ways. So let's get started. I will start today by showing to you how I used to think about client work in the past and how I think about it now. And the way I thought about it then kept me in this cycle where I was never able to get out of it. It just felt overwhelming, and I felt burnt out. And if I were to draw myself at that time, I would probably draw something like this. I was really overwhelmed. I was exhausted, and I did not know how the business worked. My whole idea about the way the business worked was, well, it's probably just happened. And if somebody had told me even back then, I did not need a special education, but if somebody had told me back then Well, all you should do is look at what's working and analyze it and do it more and improve what's working, which eventually, a few years later, this is what I did. But when I was in the midst of it, because I was so busy, it's very difficult to look from the outside and say, okay, it's what I need to do. So because of that, I felt like everything was happening randomly. And whatever my strategy was at the time, it probably looked like this. I had a whole big big pot of spaghetti. Okay. And I was just throwing the spaghetti on the wall to see what was going to stick. And I had no idea how things were working because I didn't have the capacity to even sit down and think. So here's how I saw my business back in the day, and maybe some of it will resonate with you. And my goal today is to show you that it doesn't have to be that way. It can be different, and it actually works differently. We just don't get to see it sometimes because we are busy and overwhelmed. And when we create a new structure and when we look at the business from a new perspective, then you will be able to accommodate a lot more clients. And this kind of spaghetti on the wall is going to cease. Okay. So I did not know how people were finding me, mainly probably through my website and my blog, because I blogged every day. So there was a lot of content. The people, when they got on my website, there was an invitation for a free coaching call. Free. What I did not know at the time, that only maybe about 10% of the people that get on your website would have enough courage to get on your free call. And then 90% probably just go. They will take the content that I said, that I created, then they will say bye to me and they will go. Actually, it was reflecting on these people that got me into marketing, because I was thinking not everybody will ever get on the call with me. So out of this call, most of the time, I would get clients because I knew how to talk to people. And whenever you bring people together in your space and you answer their questions, they're not as afraid to invest. So, and then these clients, by word of mouth, would then recommend their friends, and their friends would come to the call. And that's how it continued. So my marketing pretty much was limited by the number of clients that I had and by their willingness or even ability to spread word of mouth and to have qualified leads that would come into my call and become clients again. And so the spaghetti on the wall was constant struggle. I did not know what to do about this. I did not know what to do about this either. Like all these people, if I could just hold on to them and tell them that I had some kind of a way to help them, would have been so helpful for me at the time to just explore and make use of it. Instead, I had no idea what I was doing, which is not uncommon, by the way. When you're starting something, it's not like you will know. Okay. And here's my dress. I like using color to express how it felt. And if I felt heavy, then the color is dark. And at the time, I felt really heavy about what I was doing. And I didn't have a way of figuring this out, what to do with this. I had no idea. I absolutely had no idea what to do with this and what to do about this. Okay, where are these people coming? How do I bring more people? And that's when people start throwing, and I would throw spaghetti on the wall. Oh, maybe they were coming from social media. So I would go on social media and I would try to post things and I would try to um, do certain things, but then it wouldn't stick because I still was in this zone of I have no idea what I'm doing. But it's changed now. And now I'm going to show to you what I have learned, but also what I have discovered in with my curiosity, because I allowed myself to think that, well, what if I learned what to do with these 90%? What if I knew where these people were coming? What if I stopped relying only on word of mouth? Because actually, when you're relying on word of mouth, you're giving away your power to make change and your power to bring in clients to your current clients. And that's not going to work. They're not, you didn't hire them to be your spokespeople. All right. So today I will draw myself as a scientist who is trying to figure out the system. And by being curious, I found a way to accommodate a lot more people in my business and to really work with so many that it just feels like infinity. And one of my products, actually, I will put it in the description, is called From One to Infinity. So when you go from one to infinity, where you're able to bring on the infinitely more clients than you think you're capable of. So using our strategy of nesting dolls, I'm going to draw a tiny little doll here. And this doll represents social media. For me, it might be different. It may also be now my blog. It may also be my podcast. And it may also be YouTube. Now, I didn't have them all at once. I started out with the blog. Why? Because as a mother with children that were little, they're not little anymore. The only time that I could work was when they were asleep. And at that time, the easiest thing I could do was write. I could not stay on social media because it requires more engaged presence. I could not record a podcast because I needed quiet time. And of course, YouTube required that I had to put on my makeup and all, and it was more difficult. So today, what happens is one of the two. People either go to my free calls, and this now is not just one person call, because at the time it was one call. Today it's one person, or it can be a webinar or something like that. And these free calls would be a bigger nesting doll. And if you are not familiar with what I'm talking about, there is a link to, I will put a link to the YouTube video where I explained how you can create a line of products using just one product or one concept. And these are the same, essentially the same, except of course in social media, I don't have interaction as close as through free calls. And after free calls, the person either becomes a client, and by client, I mean they can be in my community or they can work with me one-on-one. And this is, of course, this big nesting doll with lots of imagery here and details because there's a lot more feedback and a lot more work that goes. Or they can become a customer. And by customer, I mean they purchase either my book or a workbook or a product, an online course. Of course, that would be still bigger than free calls, but smaller than the client working one-on-one or working in group or working in the community. Now, people from there can go to free calls or they can go to email. Email. And for email, it's going to be a little bit smaller. Nesting doll. Okay, then this one. All right, so this system creates a lot more space for me to have more clients. So somebody comes in and they're like, well, I want to work with you. We get a free call or they get on an email usually. And then this email either allows them to be my customer or it can take them to the free call. And the same thing from free call, they can go to the email. But so if you are in this system, the question is, how do you get to this where you, because of all these nesting dolls placed strategically in different places with different content and different quality to them, how can you get there? How can you get there from here? And one of the ways to get there from here is to create, this is the first thing, it's probably to create one option other than working with you one-on-one. So people might find you, they get on a free call and, whoa, working one-on-one is too much for you. Create something for them, a workbook or something where they can do stuff on their own. Or you can send them to your email. That would be a really good way for you to connect with people, still able to connect with them and offer them new products if they want to. And in the meantime, go back to client work and see how you can make it easy for yourself and make it more sustainable. And we talked about that in the first video, the very first video of how you can change the way you work with a client and charge the same amount, but spend less time and effectively raise your prices. So if you have a system like that, when you have a system like that, you are able to take on a lot more clients than you thought originally. Okay, my brush was in the waters, so it's pretty watery now. But the idea is the same. So all of your dolls, and I'm going to color them orange because let's put them all, they're going to be similar looking, but the bigger ones will have greater options for your clients. But the thing, that's the assumption that I had from here, is that everybody that comes through the call just wants to be one-on-one. But what if right now I am at full capacity? What can I offer to them? And this is where you send them, either ask their permission to send them emails with opportunities to come to free calls or trainings, or you create something extra, like a product that will be a part of your product line that will not necessarily, that will kind of replace your work, one-to-one work, or give people a tiny taste of what it could be, if it's a little different. So I'm going to put a little bit of green here as my other color, tiny little specks, to show you that there's a different pattern. And maybe I'll make my hair a little less watery. And that works. I hope this video was helpful to you. I encourage you to share it with other online teachers that are struggling with raising their prices. And I hope that this kind of structure allowed you to see how you can create more space for more clients. And more clients does not mean you work with them one-on-one. It means you can take them and put them into different levels or different ways, show them different ways of how they can work with you. And the main goal really at the stage where you're trying to get out of one-to-one classes or increase your rates is to make more time for yourself. Because once you create more time for yourself and retain the same level of income, you're able to come up with new, more creative ideas, how you can engage with clients. You can do free or even paid workshops that people will really enjoy attending. And that will also be a magnet to bring more people into your system, into your ecosystem. And that will give you more opportunities to practice your creativity, to engage with people and actually hear what they want. So you can create the products and services that they will most appreciate. And I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in today. If you would like to get really deeper into this work of transformation or changing the way your business looks right now, and you would like to get to a point where your business actually works for you, not you work for your business, please join my free sessions. I run them every month, and you will find the link in the description. And after you sign up, you'll receive the link to book your spot. I am looking forward to you being there, to engaging with you, to walking through these transformative exercises with you and answering your questions. But for now, thank you so much for your time and attention, and until next time.